So yesterday we were discussing that the Moksha Shastra, how does it bring about this sense of liberation in us? How is freedom brought about? What is mukti and what is bondage? Bondage is nothing physical, nothing social, nothing economical, nothing in fact emotional. It is something very, very deep. And it pertains to a sense of limitation about ourselves. The person who is trying to experience, the person who is trying to do, the person who is trying to think, that person itself, the fellow is limited. There's something lacking in him. Number one, I have some sense of lack in me, and on top of it, I have got this notion that my sense of lack can be effaced, can be handled by some situations outside. Whether it is some experiences, whether it is some acquisitions, whether it is some security, whether it is some relationships. In fact, this is the fundamental notion of every person in the world. They have a sense of lack. They accept the fact that I have something lacking in me. And on top of it, this conclusion that my sense of lack can be effaced by some restructuring outside. And therefore either we try to acquire certain thing, experience certain thing, bring about a state of mind, and so many things of that kind. And our experience in life is a proof of this fact that however much we try to change the external situations or even our body-mind scenario, still, the person who is sitting behind still wants to either hold on or either want to get more. Because the sense of lack is something which is not pertaining to body, mind, or even the world outside. And therefore, this thing continues. And at the, fag end of life, when we have, the body is also now dilapidated, incapacitated, it is inevitable. The body has to go through this cycle. Today maybe, we are taking care of our health very nicely. Still, that is the end which we are going to have. There is no other way out. And when the things, which we were trying to hold on is going to end, then that's a very painful thing. My whole life depended on this, and today this thing is going. Whether it is people outside, whether it is wealth, whether acquisitions, whether comforts, whether it is this body, whether it's some state of mind. This is a realm of change. And the only changes law over here is that everything, whatever we are experiencing, is continuously changing. Change is the changeless law of this entire creation. And here we are trying to bring about a static situation, which is the most cordial to us. And we are trying to say, statue, now freeze. This is the most ideal situation which I could ever imagine. This is heaven. Please, Bhagavan. And now, please do not change anything hereafter. I have tried to bring about this situation with great hard work. But this does not happen. Everything is continuously changing. So this particular supposition that, our fulfillment can be brought about by certain external situations, it is erroneous. It is not right. The fundamental thing is that whatever I am, whoever I am, the definition and understanding about myself is limited. And therefore the solution cannot be something outside. It has to be revisiting our own definitions and understanding. And we have never tried that. We have never been exposed to that. We have never been educated about that. Everybody is trying to tell us, quieten your mind, make your body very healthy, make your society very cordial, bring about a very good economic status. All these things are fine, there's no problem with that, but the only problem is that, I'm not going to be liberated just because, I have got a beautiful surrounding or good bank balance or good body and a very, thoughtful mind. In spite of a thoughtful mind, I continue to be a seeker. With a very thoughtful mind, a very philosophical mind, I continue to be a seeker. So it is not anything about outside, it is just our perceptions about ourselves. So therefore, it is self-knowledge which brings about liberation and nothing outside. We have to, be clear about this fact very, very nicely. Everybody of us have understanding about ourselves. I am so and so. I am limited. I am confined to this body. I am not everywhere. I manifested in a particular period of time, and I'm going to disappear from here after some time. This is all what I know about myself. This is what is called the understanding of the self being limited, confined. And whenever we are limited, that is the source of all seeking, all sense of dissatisfaction. There's something lacking in me. Now the masters, they investigated this. Rather than trying to jump, to the conclusion, okay, now we should do this, we should do that, they relax. Don't start the treatment before the diagnosis has happened. Let us take our time to diagnose the real issue. Is the self limited? In case if the self is really limited, then what would have been the scenario like? We would have been bothered about limitation. Anything which is natural is never a cause of dissatisfaction. It's only only, when a thorn goes inside my hand or legs, there is dissatisfaction. It's not a natural state of my healthy body. A bug is inside my ear, that's not a very healthy state. There's a dust particle in my eyes, it's not a natural state. Dissatisfaction is brought about only when we are not in a natural state. Whatever my perceptions about ourselves is, obviously something is lacking, I'm dissatisfied, So our sense of limitation is a state of unnatural state. It is not a natural state. But unfortunately, because we have not gone into all these things, whatever is perceived, I've taken that to be the fact. Whatever is perceived, one should be careful, it's never a fact. In fact, school children, they are told that, when the sun rises in the morning, don't think that sun is rising. Sun is not rising. You are going around the sun. When you are sitting on a train and the trees are running back, it's not the train, the trees which are running back. Even though we are perceiving it is a fact that trains are, children are so happy. Oh, mommy, look, trees are running fast. So it's a matter of our experience that so many times experiences are there, but experiences are false. Maybe there are experiences which are fine also, but this is also a fact that experiences are many a times completely, diametrically opposite to what is being perceived. And therefore, we are asked that, why don't you open your Gyan Chakshu, eyes of wisdom? These eyes are not good enough. They present the show, but they don't reveal the truth. And that is why the necessity of science, the necessity of scientific investigations, the necessity of meditation, the necessity of going deep into anything, because what is perceived outside, many times it is false. So here I am, I am a limited person, I am experiencing that, I am limited. Now, is this experience a matter of truth or is it a false thing? Well, we know one thing, in case, I being a limited person, if this is the most natural state, limitation won't be any issues at all, it won't be any problem. So logically speaking, my experience about myself, it is, a false experience. It's not the truth. In case if, I am basically not limited, then how come this limitation is brought about? Or let us say, for example, any kind of misapprehension, any false experience. When we are sitting on a train, then why do we experience the running trees? When we are looking at the sun in the morning and maybe chanting our Gayatri mantra, or maybe so many people who are doing Surya Namaskar in the morning, at that time we are seeing that the sun is rising. But the truth, all knowledgeable people, they tell us, now even the children know this. This is not the truth. Why is it that this kind of opposite experience occurs? So that's the question now. We have appreciated that something is wrong in my understanding about myself. And howso much if I keep on, correcting things outside, it's not going to solve any problem. So I've got to have a relook at myself. My perception and understanding of myself that I am a limited person, that is not correct because I'm uncomfortable with that. It is just like having a thorn in my hands and fingers. I'm not comfortable. I want to get it out as soon as possible. So also any sense of limitation in myself, I'm uncomfortable, I'm insecure, I'm not very happy. I'm compelled to do whatever I'm doing because my existence is not fulfilled right now. And that is not because it is so, it is basically because I'm perceiving it to be so. I'm appreciating it to be so. So the issue is basically self-knowledge. And in order to go deep into self-knowledge, I have to appreciate that how come any experience can be opposite experience. The reason for any opposite experience, and there are dozens of them. One day, I was standing outside in the moonlit night. The moon was shining so beautifully. Lovely wind was blowing and some clouds were there, frittered here and there. And suddenly the moon started running. And it was such an amazing experience. And I was surprised, how come the moon is running? And after some time, as though the throttle stopped, the accelerator was left and again the fellow is relaxed. It's a very vivid experience, very clear experience. I'm sure everybody must have experienced it sometime or the other. How are such experiences possible? What happens is, there are two things which are nearby. And the movement is there in one thing, and the other thing is obviously not moving. But not knowing the truth of both these things, there is a superimposition of the dharma of one on the other. In fact, it was the cloud which were moving. It was the train which was moving. So there was one object which had movement and the trees were static. But when you are sitting in the train, at that time you experience that the train is static. You can go around, you can chat, you can have your cup of tea, you can open your tiffin, have a nice, meals. Nothing is moving, everything inside the compartment is static. So our mind comes to this conclusion that the train is static as far as my experience goes. Once, the movement of train is not experienced, this movement is imposed on the trees. Because I am starting the train, the trees will move. So also, the cloud and the moon. So also the sun and the earth. Earth is moving, but because we are standing on the earth and the earth does not seem to move because I am not moving, so this movement is superimposed on the other object. And the movement is experienced in that other object. This is a very interesting analysis, very important analysis, because that is exactly what is happening with us. There are two components in our personality. One component is changing, it is limited. And the other component is not limited. But not knowing these two properly, we superimpose the dharma of one on the other. And then we have a completely opposite experience. Our perceptions about that object is completely different from what the truth is. And we are saying the sun is rising. Our physical body, it has limitations. Our mind, it has upheavals. There are disturbances. So this body is there, this mind is there, the limitations are there. There is limitation in something. There is unhappiness in something. there is struggle in some faculty of my mind. But not knowing the truth of both these things, there is what is called as the mutual superimposition. Superimposition of the dharma of one on the other. This is called as Anyonya Adhyas. Anyonya Adhyas is a technical word which is used in Vedanta to indicate that not knowing the truth of two things, we impose the dharma of one on the other. Anyonya. Anya. There are two things. Dharma of Anya on one and this on the other. Now what is the resultant effect of this? There is this infinite life in us which is blessing us every moment. We know this body, mind, intellect is made out of inert matter. It's going to go back over here in the inert matter. मट्टी से आए हैं और मट्टी में ही जाना है. यहीं पे अन्न खा खा के बने हैं, eating food, and we are going to become food of something or the other. So many birds and fishes, they're so happy. Oh, keep on enjoying, my feast is getting ready. Thank you so much. It's going to become. In fact, the last rites of any Swamis, they are not cremated. They are just left in the rivers. So, we are going to become, this body is certainly going to become food of somebody. And it is, slowly growing up because of food which we get from outside. This is not the truth. This is inert matter. But today, I am living, I am thinking, I am moving, I can touch, I can feel, I can, do so many experiences. So this body is being blessed by consciousness, by life. So there is this component which we can easily say that there is life, and the faculty through which this life is manifesting. So there are two components. What is required that every person needs to be educated about this fact of life. It is not something, only pertaining to some particular people, some masters, some rishis or some sect. It's not a matter of sectarian, this presentation. It's a fact of life. Everybody will have some body, mind, intellect complex, which is continuously blessed by consciousness, this life. What has happened, not knowing the two very, very clearly, there is this Anyonya Adhyas, this mutual superimposition. And the resultant effect is, the life, the me, it has become limited. I am a small fellow. I don't have a lot of knowledge and experience and joy and peace, and I want to get peace from outside. I work hard, I pray sincerely, I entertain good values, but the basic premise is I am a limited person. Now this is the nature of problem. In case if my conclusion about myself continues to be one, which has limitation in oneself, the me, the consciousness, the life is today appreciated as confined and limited with the dharma of the body, mind, intellect. That is what is called the genesis of bondage. That is how the bondage is brought about. That is how our understanding of limited self is brought about. This much philosophical understanding is extremely important. Only this much. In case if we have appreciated the nature of problem in this way, thereafter we think about it. What can be the possible solution? So, here in the Drg-Dryshya Viveka, the teacher says that come on, let us just try to bring about Viveka, discrimination, the capacity to see two things which are today intermingled. We will just try to see the truth of both these aspects as clearly as possible. In case if we can clearly, as though separate, there's no physical separation. The separation has to be only in our understanding that this is what is electricity and this is the bulb component. Electricity is manifesting through this faculty, through this equipment, through this bulb, through this fan or whatever it is. This much is the faculty part of it and this is the power behind it. This is the Shakti, this is the consciousness, this is the life. Whoever gets this knack, whoever gets this discrimination, this Viveka, to intellectually separate two apparently intermingled things, that is the nature of solution. Thereafter you see very clearly that consciousness, the life, it is not something which can be limited by any walls. Can we think, the space is limited by any walls which we build? We may be building our houses, our countries, our societies. But is the space really divided? It's just a matter of convenience. We say this is my house. The space inside this house is my space, is my personal space, And the space outside, that's not my space. It is your space. It is maybe the country space, and the country space is also so precious. How dare you, come inside my country and I've got missiles ready. We're going to shoot you down. And I've got the latest SAMs, surface air missiles and defense systems. I'm going to knock you off. It is my space. Space, this way, it is just a matter of convenience. We have, a particular space where I can live as per my convenience, in my comfort, and take care of myself, take care of the family, take care of the society. And every person, they are free to pursue any particular thought and philosophy and the values and the culture which they wish. It is just because of that, because, we have, from our transactional point of view, divided, as though divided the space. But when we are saying, my space and your space, who would be smiling the most? The space. This is funny guys, funny fellows. They are saying, as though I have been divided. Space can never be divided. It is unfragmented all the time. Everything exists in space, even the whole earth is suspended in space, the sun is suspended in space, the stars, the moon, the whole cosmos and the whole solar system, everything is existing in space. It's the compassionate space, the magnanimous space, which is giving space to us. And not knowing the truth, we are thinking that the space has been divided. When the space itself cannot be divided. how can that life, that consciousness, from where this space is also manifested? Everybody. All the scriptures say, these Panchamahabhuta, the Akash, Vayu, all these, they have manifested. They are creations. They were not there at a particular point in time. Even the scientists today say that time and space, they were not there in the beginning of creation, in the moment of what they call as singularity. In the state of singularity, before the Big Bang, there was what is called the state of singularity. And something happened because of which creation started and the time and space started manifesting. So the space itself cannot be fragmented, space itself cannot be divided. How can we ever imagine that cause, that fundamental cause from which the space has also come about? How could that ever be divided? But for all practical purposes, today the life in me is limited, is small. I am a small fellow. I have my own limitations, my own problems, my own insecurities. So because we have taken the life in us as limited, that is the cause of problems. The problem is not that, that I am really limited. My conclusion about myself is that I am limited. And in case if you conclude anything, it's experienced in that way. You experience that the other fellow is not a very good person. You start having fears. Not because the other person is like that. I remember, when I was a child, we were seeing so many movies once in a while. At that time only movies were the source of entertainment, and not only the children but the parents and the grandparents, they were all excited. Movies are going for movies. It was a big thing. And whenever I used to see this villain prawn, I used to be very shaking down to my pants. Literally, ab kuch labda hua, ab ya hai, kuch labda. Everything is going on so nicely, and here is the entry of the devil. Slowly, that person, everybody concluded he's a villain, he's a rascal, he's a bad guy. But later on, I happened to go to Bombay, and somebody told me, prawn, he's going for a walk. So prawn is going for a walk. That place is sad, so it's become a Shuddha. One should be very careful. Prawn is going there. Oh no, you don't know, he's such a good guy, such a nice fellow, so magnanimous, so charitable, always helping others. You couldn't believe that. Once I have concluded that this fellow is not good, you experience that, you feel that. There are fears in your mind, and fear is very real. And all the problems, they are so real, but the conclusion is wrong. And the classic example in Vedanta is given that some person was going, there was a rope lying, he thought it was a snake. Once this baseless conclusion is brought about, the fear is so real. So also when we have concluded about ourselves that this life in me is limited, so it is a case of not knowing clearly. And thereafter, I'm going to tell you what is the way to liberation. You do this, you focus on this, you quieten your mind, you make your body healthy and make your country very beautiful and economically well off, then there will be liberation beyond the horizon. That's not the way to go. He says, no, that is not the problem. Not that, you need not make your country beautiful, your body healthy, your mind peaceful. But see from your own experiences, there have been moments that your mind has been so peaceful, your body has been so healthy. Yet, I continue to be a seeker. I continue to hang on to something or the other. I need so many crutches in my life to go around. I'm not free. The reason is that the life in me is seen to be limited. So, one has to appreciate the nature of problem, and then alone, all this science and such textbooks of self-knowledge, they will appear to be very logical, very interesting. So here the teacher, we can imagine some person is going to a teacher and the teaching is starting now. So the person who has gone is a very thoughtful person, intelligent, a pure-minded one. These teachings can be given to a mind which is relatively quiet, peaceful, thoughtful, intelligent. This is not meant for the masses. Because the majority, they are continuously running after this achievement, this experience, that experience. Till the time mind is obsessed with so many things, you cannot go deep into the secrets of life. So some basic requisite of quietude of mind, thoughtfulness, purity, and the only aspiration is that I want to discover the truth of myself. Nothing else is required. So this much, qualification is there. In fact, the qualification which all these masters say are fourfold. They are called as Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampatti. Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampatti is that some capacity of Vivek should be there. You should have the capacity, intellectual acumen to separate two things, the good and the bad, the nitya and the anitya, the inert and the conscious, the living and the non-living. These things always come to you mixed together. You have the intelligence to separate these two things and see them clearly. When we are eating food, food is also coming to us mixed with all kind of possibilities. I have to use my intellect. This is good for health, this is not good for health. You can speak anything. You have to be, a viveki, that what do you speak is good for everyone, and what do you speak which is not good for everyone. It's not about just, speaking just anything, speaking your mind out, it's not going to help anybody. What's the use? I've got to have some viveka. So the first quality is have some viveka. And this viveka, what we require here for is, we have to discover what is the nitya and what is anitya. What is permanent here? What is it which is changeless? What is it which is changing? You have to identify. You just need to have the capacity to see and discover that, appreciate that. The changeless is there in everything, in every cell of your body, in every thought, in every experience, in every emotion. And there is a component which is continuously changing also. Just as we are standing on the sides of a river, we are seeing so many waves coming and going. So there is a changing component of the coming and the going wave, this form. And in and through all these waves is something which is not changing, which is the water. The water is not changing. It is the form which is changing. So also we can just see and appreciate that everything, when we are going into the shop of maybe a goldsmith, sonar, so many ornaments. What is common in all these ornaments is the gold. And this fellow is an artist, a creative person who can present this gold in any form, depending upon your utility, use. So the form component is the changing component, and the gold component is the changeless component. So the first quality which is required in a student of this knowledge is that you should have some Viveka. And you should continuously polish that Viveka by right studies, by right company, by right thinking. Whatever capacity you polish, it gets refined. Second quality is that whatever is impermanent, you should have the capacity to stand aside. You need not, hold on, emotionally get involved, even if it is impermanent. Happiness, strength. Yes, this is not right. This is not permanent. I can drop it from my mind, from my priority list. When we are eating a banana, how lovely Vivek we have. What is eatable and edible is the fruit inside. You can easily peel it off and throw it. This is called the capacity of Viveka. You can see two things. And the capacity of Vairagya, this is a peel part of it. No attachment. Where is the dust bin over here? And there goes the peel. Whatever you discover to be insignificant, untruth, there should be no emotional attachment to that. Have the capacity to dissociate yourself from anything which is impermanent. The third quality is called Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. Vivek, Vairagya, and Shamadhi Sampatti. Shama Adi. Shama is quietude of mind. There are 6 qualities in that. Basically it is your mind, your intellect, your sense organs. They should be in your control. You want to drive somewhere, your car should be in your control. It's as simple as that. And you should have the capacity to face ups and downs. Sometimes it's very cold, sometimes it's very hot, sometimes it's very convenient, sometimes it's very inconvenient. It's alright, it's part of the game. Go through the ups and downs of your life with a balanced mind, as though inside nothing is getting affected by the changes outside. It's a very good capacity. And of course you should have Shraddha, you should have belief in people who are talking sense, especially the scriptures, who are revealing that you are complete. You need to believe them. Sincerely believe these people. And finally, the fourth quality is called mumukshutvam, desire for freedom. My only aspiration is that I want to be free. I want to live like a free bird, free from all bondages, all insecurities, all problems. I know I can do it. I know everybody can do it. I don't know whether everybody is thinking or not, at least I believe. And this is what my God and all my teachers and all the great masters have been telling me. They won't be wasting their time in case I couldn't do it. So I believe in them. And I want to first take care of myself. This is called mumukshutva. Moksho me bhuyat iti ichha. So these are the qualities. That is the only qualities. It has got nothing to do with the caste system and the religion and the ethnicity. Nowhere in the scripture have these factors been enumerated. It's only my intellectual acumen of Viveka, Vairagya, the mastery over my body's and mind faculties, and this is the only aspiration of freedom. Anybody who has this quality is the right student for this knowledge. So we can imagine some such student, he approaches a teacher, sir, I am not able to work out. And I continue, I have done so much in my life. I have acquired, I have served, I have meditated. But still, at the end of the day, I am still wanting more. And of course, in spite of doing anything, experiencing anything, it is just for a moment, it goes away. And I continue to be a seeker. Please help me, please tell me what should I do. So here is a student going to a teacher and they are having a beautiful personal discussion. And we are eavesdropping. Slowly, behind his shoulders, you are listening to this beautiful dialogue. And the teacher is saying, well, my dear boy, what you need to start with is a Vivek. Vivek is, of course, as we said, the capacity to discriminate between two intermingled things. That is where you need to start. So don't start with some karma, whether at the level of body or mind. That's not going to help. With a very quiet, intelligent intellect, just see very clearly, appreciate very clearly what is the truth of two things. What are these two things? So we start with a very interesting Viveka. And that Viveka is Drg-Dryshya Viveka. Drg is the seer and Drishya is the seen. Life is made of experiences. We can briefly summarize the whole life that my life is a series of experiences. Suppose one day, you want to sit down and share the experiences of your life with somebody. You want to write a book about your life, the ups and downs which you have gone through. What are you going to write? Experiences. Life is only a series of experiences. I don't know what is experiences. An experience made up of. In every experience, there is an experiencer and there is an object of experience. There are two components. I as an experiencer and something came in my life as a beautiful experience or as a terrible experience. And I had to deal with that situation. Sometimes it was so easy, sometimes it was very difficult, very challenging. Yet, we go through various experiences. But every experience is basically an experiencer experiencing an object. Some experience, object of experience. In short, we can say, I was seeing something and there was a presentation in my life. Good, bad and ugly. Sometimes it was very good, sometimes it was not very good. But fundamentally, good and bad is of course a subjective response. It's a personal response of different people. Some person will say that, no, my experience is good, this is blessing to you. Other fellow is saying it's not a blessing, it's terrible. Okay, that is fine. The branding of everything, it could be a personal response. But when it comes to the brass tacks, there is one experiencer and there is an object of experience. You see, we'll start from here. We will try to identify the category of everything which is seen. And we are trying to separate the seer from the object of experience. So the subject and the object, the seer and the seen, the experiencer and the object of experience. He says, what you require, very important quality, that whenever you are seeing an object, don't get emotionally involved in that. Don't let any emotional responses happen when you are observing any object. And this much requisite is required for this Vivek. Otherwise, I show you something very good. Oh God, I want it. He says, don't worry, my child, everything is yours. But can you just believe in that and keep quiet and do not bring I want and I do not want. It's good, it's not good. I show you heaven, they say I want heaven. Forget about Viveka, forget about Drg-Dryshya Viveka, I want heaven. He says no. This is the prerequisite for this Viveka. Have the capacity to stand apart and just see the truth. Anything which is an object of knowledge, for you it should just be an object of knowledge. It should not be, an object of desire, an object of acquisition, an object of fulfillment. Just keep that aside and very objectively see whatever is in the domain of seeing, the objects. And once you see that this whole category, whole gamut of things, they are in the domain of objects. That is how you will separate, the subject from all the limitations of the object. To the extent you can see an object as an object, in effect you are experiencing a self which has been as though made free from the limitations of an object. The subject is not having any limitations of the object. Now here is a flower in front of me. Till now, I've been so emotionally involved with this flower that I was seeing the flower as my own self. I did not know anything about myself. I'm this flower. I'm this body. Now he says what the exercise which we are going to undertake is, we want to objectify the body. We want to objectify the flower and see the flower as something object. Clearly see it to be different from you. It's a very clear, fundamental, logical experience that whatever is an object of experience is always different from the subject. Drishta is different from the Drishya. Now check it out first. Before we go deep into this, you need to, be very clear on this fact. Whatever you have been experiencing, you experience other people, they are different from you. You experience a dog, is different from you. You experience a cow, is different from you. You experience a person, is different from you. Whatever we experience in life, it is always different from us. We may not be knowing the truth of ourselves, that's different. We may be getting attached to the object of knowledge, that's different. But the truth is, when we are sitting in a theatre, in a movie, everything which is happening is different from us. And that's a different thing, that most of the people, they go to movie to forget themselves. They want to forget their problems, they want to forget their pains and all the stresses in their lives, and they've got to go there in some dream world, in a world of imagination, in a heavenly world of fulfillment. They can dream there, they can think there, and they want to basically forget what they are. And in order to do that, they need to be attached to that. And therefore in the movie house, you see, the tragedies in the story brings tears in the eyes of people. One fellow was sobbing in this. He was sitting just next to me. He said, "Why then you are sobbing? It's a movie. Why don't you be detached and see the movie?" He said, "Swamiji, please keep quiet. You will not understand all this. I want to get attached. I want to forget myself. I cannot remain detached and continue to experience my petty, limited self, despair and despondent. I want to forget this guy. So can you please mind your own business?" I says, "Okay. I should not keep on giving updesh to any person who is not wanting it." So I got rebuked. And therefore, that person voluntarily wants to get attached to all that. You want to feel the joys and sorrows. And whenever there are beautiful successes, the whole hall is so happy and cheering. Wow, great, hooray, as this is happening to them. This is one of the ways how we experience the things. I can attach myself to anything what I see. And I can also, option number 2, I can stand aside. I can be objective. I can be analytical. I can be so-called very scientific, detached. Many doctors say that we have to be detached to the pains and problems of people. Thereafter I can investigate. I can operate on them. So this is another way of relating, that I should have the capacity to stand apart and then observe. You must be knowing one thing, that every judge has to be a non-related person to both the parties. In case if you prove that this judge is an uncle of that guy, this case is taken away from him. Completely unrelated, then you can be objective. Both the armies in the field of Kurukshetra, they were standing facing each other. And Lord Krishna took his chariot in the no man's land, in the middle. The teaching, the updesh of Gita was given in the no man's land, where you are neither related to this nor to that. You are equidistant to both. You are not at this moment a party either on this side or the that side. This capacity, to be detached and then observe, analyze. And this is how we can get Viveka. Viveka does not, it cannot go along with attachment. So be detached till the time you know the truth. Till that time, dissociate yourself with everything, including your body, your emotions, your desires. In fact, the way we have been living so far, the moment something desires come, they get swept away. In fact, the cheerfulness on the face itself shows that this fellow is now thinking about some near and dear ones. So happy about it. They get emotionally involved in that. In case if you get emotionally involved in anything, then fine. Identification and emotional involvement does bring about experiences, but it will never bring about knowledge. So in case if you really want to go deep into the truth of yourself, then I've got to keep this aside for some time. There will be a time when you know the truth. At that time you can be one with the truth. There's no problem. But till the time the case is going on, you need to be the judge, a non-partisan person who is not in the party of both these things. For a Swami, for a sannyasi, the ruling party and the opposition party are both same. For Lord Shiva, Devatas also come and Asuras also come. Both get blessed by right guidance. Because I am not a party to your games or your politics. I am just standing apart, non-partisan, completely uninvolved, fully objective. It is very important that I need to have that capacity to stand apart. With this capacity, he says, we shall now go into the investigation of what all is in the domain of Drishya and what is the domain of Drishta, seer. So he is giving an exercise to begin with. Let us just check this first shloka and we shall go into detail tomorrow. So I'll read the shloka, you can repeat that. Rupam drishyam lochanam drika.
Rupam drishyam lochanam drika.
Tadrishyam driktumanasam.
Tadrishyam driktumanasam.
Drishyadi vrittaya sakshi.
Drishyadi vrittaya sakshi.
Drigeva natu drishyate.
Drigeva natu drishyate.
So in this opening first shloka, the teacher is telling the student that you have an exercise. What is that exercise? He says, please discover who is the seer of all your experiences. It is these very experiences I am pointing out, which you are going through every moment of your life. And the ones which you recollect and feel so happy about them or not so happy about them, all the experiences. Who is the experiencer of all experience? Or let us simplify this. Who is the seer and what is the domain of object of perception? What is seen and what is the seer? So the fellow says, that's so easy, sir. Rupam drishyam lochanam drika. Various forms and colors of this beautiful world, they are the object of knowledge. And my eyes, lochanam, my eyes are the seer. In case if I didn't have the eyes, I won't be seeing. And this beautiful world, multifarious, multicolored and so beautiful. This is the domain of Drishyam. So this is Drishya and eyes are the Drishta. Simple. Give me some better challenge, It's a simple challenge. Not difficult. Eyes are constantly there and the world is changing. The objects always keep on coming and going. They're changing, but the eyes, they are the common denominator of all my experiences. Obviously, in case if eyes were not there, I won't be seeing. So, very logical, obvious. Eyes are the Drishta. He says, well, that is the fact. You are intelligent, you are smart, but there is a question. And in fact, whatever you bring under the domain of the seer, the basic requirement is that this should be constantly the seer. It should not become an object of knowledge by some other seer. A drishta should be a drishta all the time. It's not that under these circumstances this is a drishta, but later on somebody else is a drishta. Eyes are the knowers of various objects. But can we really say that eyes are the ultimate drishta? For the eyes to become a real drishta, they should not become an object of knowledge by somebody else. In case if the eyes can become an object of knowledge by some other drishta, then I'm basically interested in that drishta. This is a temporary drishta. This is not the real drishta. This fellow is a nakli drishta, not the ultimate drishta. So please check out whether the eyes are objectified, experienced. Do you experience the various conditions of eyes? The capacities of eyes? Is your vision blurred anytime? You are using spectacles. So there was a time when you were not using spectacles. That time your eyes were 6x6. Very good eyes. And later on, by hard work or whatever it is, hereditary reasons, slowly, the light in my eyes started getting dimmer and dimmer. Now, I see a very dreamy world, hazy. It's not very clear. Hazy world is a dreamy world. All those people who are wearing specs, they always see a dreamy world without specs. So yes, you are right, sir. I do see the changes in the condition of this so-called drishta. My eyes, they are undergoing change. My eyes, they are not constant. They are not really the real drishta. I am conscious of my eyes. I can look back in my life and recollect the moment when my eyes were so bright, so clear, so sharp. But now that is not the condition. So the question is, who is conscious of the condition of eyes? Who is the drishta of the condition of this so-called seer, the earlier seer? So he says, Tad drishyam driktu manasam. This is drishya now. when we went deep into this proposition, this conclusion rather, then we appreciate that this eyes, and in fact eyes represent all our senses, all our sense organs, were experiencing their respective objects of experience. The sound, the smell, the touch, the taste. These are experienced by our sense organs. And my sense organs are slowly getting, duller and duller. And I can see the change. I can remember those beautiful moments of my childhood when none of these problems were there. But today it's a fact. I know the change has happened. And my sense organs are not as sharp as they used to be. Just don't worry. That's not the real Drishta. The real Drishta is somebody else. The good news is this. The bad news is that Indriyas, they have gone, the capacities have reduced. But the good news is, this is not the real Drishta. So relax, don't worry. What is the real Drishta? Who is the real Drishta? It is by our minds alone that we become conscious of the various states of our body and also the sense organs. Tad-drishyam drg-tu manasam. Drg is the seer. So the drg is manasam, the mind. Mind is the real Drishta. Says, good, that is it. I've got a good student who's progressing very nicely. Says, now can you conclude that mind is the real seer? And in order to conclude that mind is the real seer, the litmus test, mind should not be able to be objectified. You should not be able to see the mind. In case if there is somebody who is seeing the mind, then mind is also an object from that seer point of view. Whatever is the real seer is not drishya, is not an object of knowledge. Subject is different from the object of knowledge. In case if your mind is the real seer, then the litmus test. The litmus test is that this mind cannot be objectified. It should not be objectified. In other words, you should not be able to know your mind, experience your mind, because that is the experiencer. So do you experience different states of mind? Sometimes you are happy, sometimes unhappy, sometimes peaceful, sometimes not very peaceful. Sometimes euphoric, sometimes despondent. You are experiencing different states of mind. Isn't it so? Mind is also an object of knowledge. It's an object of experience. In fact, that is what we share with others. Today my mind is so happy. Today my mind is not very happy. So isn't it a fact that mind is also an object of knowledge? In case if mind is also an object of knowledge, which is very obvious, which is very clear, then the most important question, who is the seer of the mind? Now whatever is the seer of mind, whosoever is the seer of mind, obviously we do not know that. We are not able to objectify that fellow who is seeing the mind. And there you are, you have discovered. The real seer cannot be seen, therefore it will be, proper to call it the seer. Moment any seer can become an object of knowledge, it no longer can be defined as the seer, it becomes an object of knowledge. You are conscious of your mind, you know your mind, the ups and downs of your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, your joys, your sorrows. You are so clearly conscious of that. Ask this question. Who is it which is standing apart of the mind, is different from the mind? After mind is changing. Early morning my mind was so peaceful, and then I met that guy and I got very angry, I got disturbed. भैया बोलते आज तुम्हारी शक्ल देख ली सवेरे सवेरे हमारा दिन खराब हो गया. So my mind is going through changes, and I know the changes. Who is standing apart and seeing the changes of the mind? I don't know. He says, okay, fine, it's good that you don't know. The moment you knew, that fellow also would have been an object of knowledge. And every object of knowledge is perishable, it's limited. The one who is conscious of the mind is never an object of knowledge. And therefore, it is justified to say that that alone is the real seer. Everything else, right from mind to the various objects outside, they are the domain of Drishyam, object of knowledge. See this fact clearly. This is how we begin the Drg-Dryshya Viveka. This is the Vivek, this is the discrimination of who is the real seer and what is the seen. So we have some food for thought, and we can deeply meditate on this, appreciate this, and mind you, this is just the first shloka. In the first shloka itself, you have been, about 6 you have been taken to very sublime realms. It is so exciting. It's a beautiful, exciting journey. It's a process of self-discovery. There is an experiencer which is not in the category of objects, is ever the subject. So for today, you can revel in that, think about that, and tomorrow we shall go in this divine yatra, in this subjective yatra, we'll take the next step. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Namah Parvati Pataya. Har Har Mahadev. Narmade Har Guru Ganga Maiya ki Jai.